Rip off some of the good stuff, you fucks.
You're still listening. This is our final transmission.
We're here, Jamie. It's the Final Transmission podcast. Welcome. I'm Sam Russo, and with me, as always, is Jamie Carruthers. How are you, Jamie Carruthers?
I am absolutely fantastic, Sam. I am so glad to be here with you, talking about one horror movie a week until the end of time.
Apart from May.
Apart from the month of May this year. But who knows about what's next year? And who knows what's going to happen in August?
We should always have the month of May off.
Yeah?
Just for general, it should be our new pagan celebration.
That's a thing. How are you?
No work for May. No work for May. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm hanging in there, man. I'm fantastic. Top of the tree, as always.
Yeah. You've got some jet lag.
It's weird. It's partially jet lag, but it's also just losing several nights' sleep. It's just, the flight there, fine. Slept for maybe 2 hours, which meant I was awake for 27 hours before I went to sleep.
Blech.
Then you beat the jet lag over the course of a few days, but you drive all night, so you sleep about 4 or 5 hours a night for the whole tour. Then I got 2 good nights' sleep in Montreal, apart from Joe and Tim snoring like maniacs, and then lost a whole night's sleep flying back. So yeah, I'm fucked.
I wonder if I don't snore anymore. It's not something I've considered.
Set a recording up for the Patreon. Record a whole night's sleep and see if you snore.
I mean, I was eating my noodles as I was setting up, and I did record the noodle slurping as like an ASMR. So if one person tells me they want to hear it, I will release the noodle cut.
I mean, that's OnlyFans stuff, right?
Yeah.
I wish I could just start an OnlyFans and piss on stuff for money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Piss on your own records for money.
Just like anonymous piss. Like no one knows it's me.
Or just anonymous pissing on Sam Russo records.
Exactly. It's anonymous pissing in Sam Russo's house. Someone is pissing in Sam Russo's house. Who could it be?
Yeah. It's Plum.
They piss in here all the time.
Exactly. Anyway.
Welcome to the horror podcast.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
So obviously the month of June is all about rip-offs and cash-ins and, let's face it, not very good movies. So this week we're talking about Dolly Dearest from 1991, directed by Maria Leese, who we will talk about in some depth, starring Denise Crosby, friend of the pod, second appearance on the pod.
What was their first appearance again?
Miracle Mile.
Miracle Mile, of course, she's in that briefly.
She is, and you were gutted, weren't you?
Yeah, not in it enough.
Yeah. Also stars Sam Bottoms, which is what I call you.
I mean, it's very appropriate. I'll take that. Absolutely. Yeah. Also stars Rip Torn.
Yeah, giving it's a role tailor-made for John Rhys Davies. And
and slipped into by none other than Rip Torn.
Yeah. With a wandering accent.
Yeah, I did wonder about that. It's not as egregious as some noteworthy wandering accents. Yeah. And to be honest, I didn't think it was really that bad at all. I just think, I'll tell you what I think later, I guess.
Yeah. Fucking stow it. Keep your stupid comments in your pocket.
Keep it in my pants. I'm trying.
So this is a rip-off of Child's Play, ostensibly, or at least a cash-in off the back of Child's Play.
Yeah, it's a fucking evil doll movie. What else could it be? It's 1991. I can't believe they made this in the 90s.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
It looks like 1976.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does.
So, what to say? So, Maria Leese was fleetingly an actor in 60s and 70s X-rated fare.
Porn.
Yeah, well, some of it wasn't porn. Some of it was just erotica.
A lot of it was porn.
A lot of it was porn. She then made the jump to directing porn. And then made the jump to editing trailers, again, for porn.
Yeah.
And then
I just want to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to tip my hand too much, but I wish that's where she'd stayed. She could have had such a good career, and we'd be talking about something very different now if she'd just stayed in porn. You were doing great. Stay there.
Well, I think she's done some good work since this, not in the director's chair though, in more as like script supervision.
You say she's done good work as a script supervisor.
Yeah, she was
I'm gonna
script
push
and
you for
continuity
evidence.
for Better Off Dead. Your 5th or 6th favorite John Cusack movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of script supervisor credits here for really generic shite, like Boston Legal.
Whoa there. I will not hear Boston Legal slander. I am...
Excuse me, how the fuck could you class Boston Legal as anything but generic shite?
It's amazing.
Is it generic?
No.
What?
How can anything with William Shatner and James Spader be generic? He is...
How could it possibly?
James Spader is fucking horned up Bacchanalia incarnate, and Shatner has ballooned up to fucking like a toad man. He
Toad
plays
Man Shatner.
He plays like a right wing like lawyer with dementia against his best friend, who is, you know, James Spader with his raging constant boner. It's fucking incredible. I really like it. It is generic shite, but I do really like it.
I don't dislike it. What I'm saying is, it's all generic shite. Although, credit where credit's due, it's eclectic while being generic. Like, everything is a different genre, but all of the genres are. All of the properties of the generic end of the spectrum. Apart from Hot Potato, which looks very interesting to me.
It's her IMDb credits that made me aware that they made a TV series based on the Jeff Bridges movie Starman.
Yep, I saw that too.
So
that is a criminal enterprise. Go to jail. Fucking hell.
Absolutely not. I bet it's amazing.
I think if I'd looked this movie up before we watched it, I wouldn't have watched it. So go on, you were about to pump the tires of this person's career. You were at script supervisor.
So I read the one interview with Maria Elise that I could find.
Yeah.
It was from an issue of Fangoria, and it wasn't really an interview with her. It was a piece about female directors from around the time that this and The Howling 2 came out.
Sure.
And something else. And she talks a lot about making this. Well, she talks a bit about making this. It's the only interview I could find with her.
Right.
And she is very quick to differentiate this from Child's Play, which doesn't necessarily say a lot, because if I was making a rip-off of Child's Play, I would be like, yeah, I wanted the money, so I made the movie. I would be like,
sure,
this is the story that my heart wanted to tell about a doll factory in Mexico. But she seems to believe that it's an interesting story and not a rip-off. And she thinks it's not a rip-off of Child's Play because it brings in the creepy child element that they stole from Amityville and Poltergeist and The Omen. So take from that what you will. I would like to think that she didn't want to be Maria Elise anymore. She wanted to be Maria Own, and therefore made Dolly Dearest.
Dolly Dearest, I see what you did there. I find it interesting. I mean, you would have to either own the ripping off. You'd have to either own it and be like, yeah, we fucking ripped it off, and it was fun and stupid. Goodbye. Or, yeah, you have to elevate it somehow and talk a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's weird that she chose the latter, given
the
that she
output
came from porn, which is just unpretentiously wank fuel.
I think in the 70s, porn was maybe pretentiously wank fuel.
True. Yeah. We're talking about a different time.
Yeah. So the first genre listed on this film on IMDb is comedy. Do you think this film is funny?
There's nothing funny about this film.
Do you think it ever feels like it's meant to be funny?
Yes, I suppose.
There's one character that I was like, oh, is this the comic relief? And that was like Ruiz, when he's trying to fuck the doll? Like, I don't
trying to fuck a doll. Yeah, that's probably funny to someone, I guess.
I thought like these are comedy beats,
but he's not saying anything even remotely funny. That's the main problem, I guess.
No, he's sort of talking to a doll as if it's a human woman, but it's a doll of a child. And
yeah, who's the kid? The Jimmy, the little kid.
Oh yeah. Chris Dimitral.
Yeah, he says a thing in the film that some people might find funny, I guess.
Yeah, like, and Rip Torn is ostensibly a comedy actor, right? So, like,
Yeah, but not in this.
his
Fucking hell.
his presence sort of suggests, like, the reason it's him and it's not John Rhys Davis is because Rip Torn is a comedy actor, but it never feels like a comedy movie. It just sort of feels like a mess.
I don't understand Rip Torn's presence in this at all. I know that he has massive comedy chops, and I know that he's very funny, but he also has a decent, not comedy career.
Yeah.
You know, he has a lot of good drama appearances, some great drama appearances, and
Yeah.
but I don't understand why he's doing this at
Well,
this time in his career. Like,
I'll tip my hand here, and I'll say that he is the best thing in the movie.
he sucks in this movie.
I don't think he sucks. I just think I think the movie is worse than he is. All right, do you want me to do a synopsis, Sammy, and then we can fucking crack off to break and then come back and get into some spoilers, get into it properly.
Definitely.
All right, so a dad, played by Sam Bottoms, Elliot Wade, is hoodwinked into buying a Mexican doll factory.
I think he's just dumb. I think he just bought a Mexican doll factory sight unseen, and he got what he paid for.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny bit where the guy's like, where the dad's like, oh, did you write the business documents? And he's like, yeah, I copied them from American business magazines. And he's like, well, you did well. That's a fairly funny interaction. That's a funny interaction in a not funny movie. In a not comedy movie, that's like a funny line that someone in real life might say. But in a movie that's maybe meant to be a comedy, just sort of feels like bad comedy. But anyway,
it's just dialogue, I'm afraid. I think you're looking for love in all the wrong places. It's just dialogue.
So, all right. So, Elliot Wade, the father of this family, buys a Mexican doll factory by mistake. The doll factory happens to be adjacent to the tomb of a bunch of made-up cultists, where they buried a demon child, perhaps, or it's rumored that they did. The demon child is made of weird cartoon animation, sort of looks like something from if the people that made the Starman TV show made a Ghostbusters TV show, that's what it would look
with
like.
Goblins.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And somehow the spirit of this ancient evil demon child has entered the body of all of the dolls in the factory.
Yes,
because at first I was like, it's weird that she picked like the third doll from the end and it was still the one that had the demon in it. But then by the end, they all have the demon in them. Spoilers, I'm sorry, but like this isn't a good film. So the demons in all the dolls, and it is bad. It's bad things happen as a result of demonic possession of dolls. And the daughter names...
I love that you can't even be fucked to finish a synopsis.
The daughter names the doll Dolly, which is...
Clever.
Fucking lazy. At least fucking...
Now then, I actually had a doll called Dolly when I was a kid.
Yeah? Did it have wheels so it could like run on a little track?
It was not that kind of dolly, I'm
Oh.
afraid. No. I didn't grow up on a film set.
Did you not? Not on one of Maria Lisa's films?
I mean, that might have been my origin story, but I moved out. What a fucking synopsis, bud. That's slow clap shit right there.
Yeah.
Started strong. You did better than I could have. The relationship between the girl and the doll is essentially the center of the movie, with the concerned mother and the give no fucks dad. Where does the dad even go in this film? He just did. Fuck me. Yeah, so Denise Crosby, Marilyn Wade, heading up the adult cast, I guess.
Yeah.
Rip Torn is acting in a different movie.
Yeah.
Just cut away to him every now and then.
He plays an archaeologist who is digging up the site next door where the demon hatches or whatever.
Yeah.
And is there basically for exposition?
I'll be honest. Towards the end of this film, I wasn't paying much attention anymore. Do you ever actually see Rip Torn and Denise Crosby in scenes together?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, around the midpoint of the film, I was like, did they shoot all of Rip Torn's shit just like in California and all of the rest of it in Mexico? Like, what the fuck? But I guess they were together in real life.
Yeah, well, I mean, she could also be in California. But
I think it was actually shot in Mexico, wasn't it?
yeah, I would say so.
I think I read that it was actually shot. It was shot in Mexico City. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we?
So respect for that.
Should we take this break and then come back and then you can tell me what you really think?
Yeah, I've been hiding a lot of a lot of how I really feel. Yeah, let's take a break and then reveal the big mystery when we get back.
Okay.
Whoa, holy shit. I guess that's why they call it Phantom Power.
All right, Sam, I'm back. Are you back?
Never been more back.
Would you describe the state of what you are as back?
Yep, baby got back.
Yeah. So we're doing rip-offs at the moment, right? And
Yep.
speaking of rip-offs, we have a Patreon, and it's just $5, which is, I would say,
What a rip-off.
not a rip-off.
Okay.
And on our Patreon, you can find extended, uncut, full-length, unsheathed, uncensored versions of this podcast, both in audio and video format.
Yep. For example, we just talked about Jamie's chin for about 5 minutes. So that's what you're missing out on if you're not putting your hand in your pocket.
Exactly. Pay $5 to look at my chin.
Pay $5 and find out what kids used to call Jamie because of the appearance of his chin.
Okay. And that's at patreon.com/final transmission. I'm pretty sure that's it.
That's gotta be
I
it.
think I've learned it, and it's that.
Yeah.
All right, Sam. So we're both back, and I'm getting a vibe from you that you didn't quite enjoy this movie.
I mean, one of these days I'm gonna do the full flip flop and pretend I hated something and then tell you how much I loved it. It's not today. This was such a bad film.
I think. I mean,
Here it comes.
obviously, you know that I am always looking for the good in stuff. I just
in
like
bad films. Yeah.
I just like liking things, and I think that there is enough good stuff in this movie for it to be okay.
Well, that's nice. I don't.
Like, I wouldn't go beyond that, but I think, like, as a 93 minutes, there's a lot worse out there, and I'm going to make you watch all of it.
There's absolutely worse films out there. But if you're going to rip off Child's Play so brazenly,
Yeah.
why the fuck would you take everything good out of it? Rip off some of the good stuff, you fucks. Like, where's the logic here? Like, suck all the life out of a really fun film. Like, take all the humor out, take all the fear out, take all the deaths out. Jamie,
there was some
pop quiz, hot dick.
There are some good deaths
How many
in this
people?
movie.
How many people do the dolls kill in this movie? Do you think?
3.
You think there's 3 doll murders?
Yeah.
Tell me what they are, please.
So the maid, and that is a very violent death.
What happens to the maid again?
She gets stabbed and then thrown into a flooded basement. And
she's
then
drowned.
electrocuted in a really vigorous and violent way.
Yeah, for quite a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
bit gratuitous. Yeah. Next death?
Oh, I wish it was more violent. Bit gratuitous. Okay, Sam.
Well, it was so
Choose a
protracted.
fucking
went
lane.
went on forever. Do you know what I mean?
I
Fucking
thought
hell,
that was
dog.
cool. I just thought
Yeah.
it felt really horrible in a way that I enjoyed.
Best death of the movie. Yeah, for sure.
And then Ruiz, his death is weird because he is sort of stabbed a bit, and then like there's something happening in his chest, and then he's dead. So it kind of looks like he dies from like a very minor sewing machine incident.
Yes, I would contend that is such a crock of shit. Like, the doll doesn't kill him is my big argument here, and I know you're going to disagree, but the doll stabs him in the leg, runs his hand through a sewing machine, and then he subsequently has a heart attack. I don't.
Is that what that's meant to
think,
be? Is that a heart attack? His like heart bulging out of his body? I thought like we were getting a chest burster, and then obviously
maybe there was like
we don't get a chest burster, and then we see him later and he's not been bursted.
No, maybe some like mystical heart grab happens, but the effect is such piss that we don't even see it.
Yeah.
So I think he gets scared to death, which I think a good lawyer could get that doll off with. Like, I don't think the doll kills him. I think he dies of a heart attack.
Yeah.
And the other death?
The other death is Maybe there's just two.
In a horror movie where one guy has a heart attack, I just don't think that qualifies you to be a film. Like,
I think.
why would you be a horror movie about a killer doll
Yeah.
who has a fucking cleaver on the cover and is clearly meant to be murderous, who fucking kills one person, and it's just a completely innocent maid?
I think you're allowed to be a movie if you don't kill people.
I don't think you're allowed to be a killer doll movie if your killer doll doesn't kill people.
Yeah. I guess it's just a doll movie at that point.
Yeah, I don't think you have feasible stakes of any kind for a horror movie if your doll isn't capable of killing, or if your kill record is so low.
I do enjoy. I mean, there are some other scenes of peril towards the end.
Some mild peril, sure.
The where murders don't come to full culmination, but they are. Stuff does happen.
I'm not going to argue with you that stuff does happen, but not a lot happens in this film. It is fucking slow and fucking uneventful.
I think it's not that slow. I think the 93 minutes does scoot its way along.
It glides, I guess. It glides and it grinds.
I specifically wanted to talk to you about the appropriation of 900-year-old, not that long ago, let's be honest, ancient Mayan tribe Sanzia, which doesn't exist. They've made up a Mayan death cult tribe.
Yeah.
How do you
Well,
feel
you're asking
about
me
that?
if that's okay.
Yeah.
Fine, don't care. The
Alright.
film sucks too much fucking nutsack for me to give a shit about that.
I think that makes it worse, if anything. Make up, appropriate a culture's heritage for a good film, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it does less harm in a movie that sucks that no one sees. Straight to video, I guess. And I don't know if it does any harm anyway. I think it's in the same slightly greasy ballpark, Wienerville, as, like, air quotes, the Native American burial ground trope. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
well, I mean, it's in the same area because it's ripping that off. It's just doing it in Mexico, and they don't have Native Americans
doing it in Mexico instead. Yeah,
they have Mayans.
Which might be for cost reasons, which kind of makes it worse. Like, let's shoot somewhere really cheap where we can really exploit people, and while we're there, let's just make up a facet of their culture
exactly
to fit our script. Yeah, it's not great, but I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
It's bottom of the list of crimes this movie commits, in my opinion. I tell you what does suck the most gargantuan donkey balls is that we're supposed to believe that there's this ancient Mayan evil moving through these dolls.
Yeah, ancient,
inexplicably.
Again, 900 years old.
Ancient, a whole 900 years old, yeah. Inexplicably just through these dolls. Don't know why.
Yeah, couldn't speak English.
The English-speaking ancient Mayan dolls who have the most ridiculous fucking voices ever. And yet the way that the ancient Mayan demon is vanquished is by blowing up the factory.
Yeah. I mean, first they release the young girl from the sort of possession chokehold that the doll has on her by shooting it with a shotgun.
Obviously. I mean, it must just say in the ancient text, the only way to release the possessed spirit is to blow it up with a shotgun.
Well, there's like that Eddie Izzard bit from years and years ago where he's talking about like when they wrote all these vampire books, like they didn't have Uzis. So like maybe an Uzi would help, like a chainsaw, like cut all the body parts off. Like I'm Dracula, yeah, but you're in a wheelbarrow. Like
bam.
Yeah.
Does Jimmy know that blasting this doll's head off with a shotgun is going to save the girl at that point? Do you think when he says like "suck this" or whatever he says? What does he say?
He says, I don't know, get away from her, you bitch, or whatever. It's like something that's very, very close to the aliens line.
Yeah. I can't.
Suck on this bitch or something like that.
It was the only good thing in the film at the moment that I watched it, and I've completely forgotten it.
Play with this, bitch.
Play with this, bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. For that to be the best moment of the movie, low bar.
I mean, that makes you think it's trying to be funny in that moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's just trying to do that exact thing, like the one-liner before you shoot someone. That it's in a lot of movies of this era, and I suppose it's just its attempt at slotting neatly into that genre and having a bit of.
I just think if it had that tone all the way through it, like we know that this is ridiculous, but like just go with us and you'll have some fun tone, then we would be having a fairly different conversation.
We're having a better time, yeah.
That's why like the hazing worked out.
Yeah, for sure. But it really elevates Child's Play, in my opinion, because it makes you appreciate how sardonic it is, how dark it is, how much scathing social commentary is loaded in there, how fantastic the effects are. Like, I found it... I went to see it at an outdoor open-air cinema event last year, near where I live with a couple of friends, and I, for the first time, I mean, I'd seen it a few times, but for the first time watching it was genuinely creeped.
Yeah. Because
I was watching it big and it was outdoors and it was really fun. And this, I just couldn't ever in a million years imagine being even remotely frightened by this. Yeah, it fails in every regard, in my opinion.
All right, so I've got a bunch of questions for you that I'm gonna lob at you, and you can answer them, and we can maybe discuss your answers, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay, go on then.
Firstly, I want you to imagine that you're a little girl, right?
Easy, got it.
And you find this doll that you love.
Aww.
And all of a sudden the doll starts talking to you.
Yep.
And it's like, man, I'm a little creepy fucking doll, man. Are you like, oh, cool, this is my best friend. This is...
Oh, good. My Dolly is telling me to kill everyone. This is fine. I think the funniest thing for me is late in the movie when it, for some reason, is like an old man doll. It sounds like there's a bit where he's a bit of a geezer. He's like, yeah, you're right, I'm a doll. Like the voice goes so weird for a minute. Like, yeah, you're right, geezer, let's fucking have it. It's so fucking lame. No, if I'm a little girl, my dolls come to life. It's very menacing, saying quite evil things. I go up to my mum and I say, Mum, my doll is alive. It's telling me to kill you. What should I do?
And then you get hit with the back of a brush and thrown into a cupboard, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm. There were times in my childhood where my imagination ran so wild that I thought one of my toys was alive, and it freaked me out so much I would throw it into the woods and run away screaming. Like, the trope doesn't work unless the demon or the doll or the animated whatever has a real psychological hold on its human counterpart. And we don't really see that here until much further into the movie when she's just randomly possessed. Yeah. So, I mean, what would you do if one of your fucking action men was like, wait, let's fucking shoot up this school? I mean...
We're back in extra time now. Like, that's...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't shoot up my school.
Probably not.
I'd probably be like, I didn't have any action man, but if my Ghostbusters or my fucking Visionaries were like...
Oh, Visionaries.
Yeah, they were great. If they were like...
Visionaries fucking ruled.
Yo, let's be weird, shove me up your ass or whatever, I'd be like, well, all right.
Okay, fine. And that's why I shoved all my Visionaries up my ass.
Yeah.
Did you... I can't believe you didn't have an action man.
I didn't have a single action man.
Oh, action man was so sick.
I exclusively had Turtles, Monsters in my pocket, Ghostbusters.
And your butthole.
Visionaries and...
Monsters in my asshole.
He-Man.
Jamie gets rushed to hospital and there's an entire fucking...
battalion.
What were those? Polly in my pocket up your ass.
Yeah, Mighty Max.
Yeah, Mighty
Half
Max.
open.
No, all the way open. Full clamshell, baby. All right, question answered. What's next?
So, I mean, when I was a kid, just because you mentioned that you had a toy that you thought was alive, what was the toy?
It was probably an action man.
Okay. I would, like, leave my toys on the floor and I would draw a picture so I knew exactly where they were to see if I could see if they'd moved by the morning.
Good experiment. Very scientific.
Yeah, but they never had. So they would
just woke up with them all up your ass.
Yeah, they were just really good at finding their way back to where they started, I guess.
Because you drew an outline for them to go back to.
Well, no, it was on paper.
Oh, right, okay.
But they could...
Dude, if you think your reanimated toys aren't clever enough to figure that shit out.
Exactly.
I got news for you.
Okay, next question. When Rip Torn first sees the dolls,
yeah,
I loved that moment.
Why?
Because he says, these creatures are beautiful. Very haunting. Is that...
what a crock of shit.
Is that like what your reaction would be in that situation?
Nope. I mean, Rip Torn doesn't do anything in this film that makes any sense. His character is so fucking flawed. I think some of the lines he delivers, you have to take your hat off to him for delivering them at all, and B, for delivering them with any kind of gravitas whatsoever. I think Denise Crosby wins the actor of the movie award for delivering some of the trashiest dialogue on planet Earth. Totally straight as fuck. Isn't there one bit where she's like, "I'm not losing my daughter to an ancient curse with goats," or something like ridiculous dialogue. No, I wouldn't describe a room full of dollies as hauntingly beautiful creatures.
Beautiful creatures.
Yeah.
I think creatures is such a weird, like, we know that they're possessed, but he doesn't know that. He just thinks they're dolls.
Yeah, you're not a creature. You're a doll.
Yeah.
There was a point when I looked up to see if the writer of this movie was a person for whomst English was their first language, and I was astonished to find that the answer was yes.
Were you astonished to find that the answer was Peter Sutcliffe?
Yes.
The Yorkshire Ripper himself, from the
so funny,
from the gates of Broadmoor.
How the fuck did 3 people write this film? 3 adults sat down together and wrote this 93-minute movie.
Yeah.
And none of them at any point went, "Oh, this is shit, let's start again."
Yeah. Just want to say that probably wasn't that Peter Sutcliffe, just in case anyone is confused.
I hope it was. I really hope the Yorkshire Ripper took a quick break to write a movie about a fucking demon doll in Mexico.
Okay, another question, right?
Go on.
In the Omen bit, sort of towards the beginning, when like the priest comes to bless the house.
Yeah, good recreation of that shot by shot, by the way.
Literally, like, does that do anything? What's the point in blessing the house if it just like makes the demon child mildly uncomfortable for a few minutes?
Yeah,
like,
makes it more angry. Agitate the demon. At least, like, I just don't understand this film. At least have the priest die mid-incantation or, like, mid-blessing or whatever. Have the doll, like, look at him and he drops fucking dead, or a sign swings down and cuts his fucking knob off or something. Like, why aren't you taking those opportunities?
Yeah.
Why does none of it make sense?
Yeah. It's
Bless this fucking joint.
It's so weird. Like, that stuff that happens in The Omen, particularly in The Omen 2, I mean, we've talked a lot about, like, the first death I ever remember seeing in a movie.
Yeah.
Is the scene from the Omen 2 where the doctor guy is in the lift and the lift falls down and then the cable comes through the top and slices him in half, and it's fucking rad.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Like, yeah, that's a perfect death scene to me. I have not watched it in 20 years, so I have no idea if that holds up. But it's seared in my memory forever.
Yeah.
And that's the best stuff from The Omen. Like the quick look and something fucky happens. Why aren't we doing that? If you're going to rip off The Omen, just fucking go. Also,
so cheap to do that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every effect in this movie is free. Like, if anything, I just don't understand, exactly like you said, why you're not doing more of that. Even the stab with the scissors is so fucking cheap. It's like, whack, cut, stab, back. It looks terrible. Like, I don't know where the money went on this, but it didn't go to deaths because nobody dies, and when they do, it's bad. So I just think, do more of that. Kill a priest. Give us some real stakes. Give us some jeopardy.
Kill
I'm
a
not telling
Mexican
you how to make
priest.
your Dolly rip-off movie, but here's my first suggestion: make a Dolly rip-off movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is not that.
Okay, here's a real question that I really want to find out your take on. What do you think of the music?
I barely registered that there even was any music. It was so innocuous.
Did you notice who the music was by?
Faith No More.
The music is by Mark Snow.
Right.
Famously made the X-Files theme tune.
Oh, interesting.
I think the music in this is pretty good, you know. But I think that with the knowledge that it's Mark Snow, and therefore maybe that's some sort of confirmation bias. But I was listening out for it, knowing that from previously watching it, knowing and seeing Mark Snow in the credits and being like, oh, interesting.
Well, I mean, what, a guy who wrote one really good TV theme? Like,
Yeah. I don't know what happened in America, but that went to #1 in the UK, the fucking X-Files theme.
Which is incredible, because even like Fairy Tale of New York didn't get to number
Yeah.
one.
I think, did Fairy Tale of New York like not even chart?
No, it got to number 2.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the same. You don't win silver, you lose gold, Sam.
Second place is first among the losers, or whatever people say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fine. Like the movie is just the whole movie, including the score, is just there. The music isn't special, I don't think, at all.
Like I say, I was looking for it with the knowledge that it was Mark Snow, and I thought, oh yeah, I kind of hear that.
I mean, that's the definition of confirmation bias.
Well,
but yeah.
I know. I'm aware. I know who I am.
I was listening to it, insistent that it was going to be good, because the guy who did it made one good song.
That went to number 1 in the UK.
And everything at number 1 in the UK is fantastic.
Yeah. I remember buying Mbop on cassette because it was number 1, and it was 99p.
They're back.
Hanson
Those guys are back. Yeah.
Nice. Are they playing hockey?
No, that would be the Hanson brothers.
They
who
are
I
brothers.
assume are dead. But they're not Australian.
No.
Or maybe they are. Who knows? I've got a question for you.
Oh, go on.
Why do you own this on DVD?
Because I own everything on DVD.
Okay, good point. Good point. It was a straight-to-video movie, but apparently my online sources tell me it had a very limited run in theaters in certain regions in the US and was not well received.
No, well, in order to be submitted for an Oscar, you have to run in a certain amount of theaters, and so I'm assuming that they were chasing the Oscar buzz by running it. Like, I mean, I don't think that they were running the Oscar, trying to run it for an Oscar, but like the rules around Oscars is that it has to show in a theater for at least one day in LA.
Right.
Which is fucking horse shit.
Well, let's hypothesize briefly that the world, let's just say 1991 was a very different time and place. And this was a movie. Yeah, but let's just say this, so much so that this is one of the best movies of the year.
Okay.
And it has to win an Oscar, right?
Yeah.
We all know the Oscars are rigged. And you're the boss of the Oscars. You got to give this movie one Oscar. Which Oscar would you give it, and for what reason?
Original screenplay, because everything else is fucking bad.
Best original screenplay goes to Dolly Dearest.
Oh, maybe
a note-for-note screenplay ripoff of Child's Play.
It's not note for note of Child's Play because they also do The Omen. They also do Gremlins.
True.
They also do fucking Poltergeist.
Every movie with a small or invisible threat, they rip off. Yeah.
Maybe
best original screenplay.
best supporting actor, Rip Torn.
Ooh, he's so guff in this. So nothing. It's the only time and this is an insane thing to say. It's the only time I've ever seen Rip Torn in a movie and thought anyone could be doing this right now. Well, it could be anyone.
It couldn't be anyone. It should be John Rhys Davis.
Sure,
it should be him.
But the way Rip Torn does it, could just be swap him out for anyone.
Okay, next question, right?
Yep.
How does the spirit of a Mayan devil child know to only move when no one's looking?
Well, in support of that logic, it seems intuitive to the spirit of evil to be largely undetected while you do your background work, right? It could just rage and kill and rip and tear, but it's trying to, for some reason, work through a child and through an inanimate object. So you don't want to blow your cover, right?
But how does it know that? How does it know that dolls don't just walk around all day? Like, how does it know that it's inside an... It's never seen a doll. It
probably has.
It's been inside a tomb for 900 years. It's ancient.
I know, but when it was alive... They had dolls in the old days,
Not beautiful creatures like that.
No, so it's probably a huge upgrade. Yeah. So the demon's probably like sick. This is like the Lamborghini of dolls. Yeah. When I was back in my day, we just had little corn husks covered in mud. This is wow.
I feel like it only escaped from the temple like a week ago. Like it learned English. It understands intuitively what dolls are. Like at least Charles Lee Ray, Chucky, is like contemporary before the very normal thing of his soul being transferred into the body of a doll via voodoo happens.
It's so sick. The whole idea of Child's Play is so great, and you get Brad Dourif, and you just it's bang 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 bang, constant razz. It's a shame that this is the Monkeys of doll movies.
Fucking what? I
We've
love
done this.
The Monkeys.
I know you do, but they were once famously described as
The Dolly Dearest of
monkeys
the
are-
Beatles.
a pale and amusing derivative. So I think that's generous for Dolly Dearest because it is not amusing.
Like, I think people that describe the monkeys as a derivative of the Beatles haven't really engaged with what the monkeys actually are.
I don't think they've listened to the depth of either band's catalogues or
Exactly.
really understood who either band is. They're
I think,
just
like,
grabbing headlines.
They were like, oh, the Beatles are popular, let's make one of those. But sometimes that's good.
Yeah. So I mean, the context of that quote was that the journalist was talking about the New York Dolls being a derivative of the Rolling Stones, and they were comparing the New York Dolls
Fucking
to the
nonsense
monkeys.
as well.
I know.
Fuck all music journalists.
Well, I don't know. I would almost take the New York Dolls one, but not the monkeys one, really.
The Beatles could never have made Head. That is like they tried to make a weird movie and it didn't fucking work. And Head
Yeah.
is fucking great. They would never have written Tapioca Tundra.
Your fucking monkeys logic is unnerving.
So I've never seen
You
the
should
band.
be on a register.
I've never seen the band Iron Chic because both times they were playing in like a city local to me.
Mm.
I went to see the Monkees instead.
That is an algorithm breaking decision.
That's not true, actually. I've seen Iron Chic. We played with them in a brewery in the snow.
I thought I saw them with you at Manchester Punk Festival once.
I mean, that may also be true. I think
Entirely possible.
I think Iron Chic are one of the most forgettable bands in modern punk rock.
Were you going to say that, like
pale-
the Monkeys to the Beatles, they are
Yeah, they are a pale and amusing imitation of Lasseman.
brilliant. Yeah, I wish Dolly Dearest could live up to even being an imitation of Child's Play. I just think it's a fucking slap in the face.
Slap in the dick.
Yeah, it's insulting. One of the main problems I think I have with this fucking Dolly Dearest is how shit the doll is. Do you know what I mean? When it's got that weird fat tire neck that is just a bad prop. It's not like, oh, look, it looks kind of gross because it's so bad. It's just piss weak prop work.
So I think the reason that I don't hate this movie
Mm.
is that I think dolls are scary. And I think
Okay. Well, that's a fundamental.
I think this
issue, isn't
doll is as scary as any other doll, and therefore, I think fundamentally they're scary. So
I think
it works for me on a primeval level, even with all of the shit that it does to try and undermine it. It still fundamentally has a scary premise to me.
Weird.
I think the doll is scarier when it's a doll, and is less scary when it's got a little fucking sucking on it's just eating a Hot Pocket face. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
I do know what you mean. It's such a shame that you find dolls scary. Because it makes you insane. And you can't watch this movie sanely.
I don't think it
Given
makes
your-
me insane. Dolls are scary.
It makes you...
Not all
They're not,
dolls.
dude. This doll is
Hashtag not all dolls.
the doll in this film is not scary. But then when they give it this old lady face, it's at least interesting to look at. It's so
Like,
dismissibly, forgettably shite up until that point. And then at least we've got this weird, like, creepy little fucking fully grown human in a doll outfit vibe.
I think the opposite. I think almost exactly the
Wow.
opposite. I think a doll is scarier. Also, the idea that like, oh, I bought this doll factory, and I'm gonna make and sell my dolls that I make in this factory. Oh, I've found a load of dolls. Let's just ship it off. What the fuck?
Yeah. And also just like, your life savings went into buying this factory that you'd never seen. He literally tells his wife, it's our life savings. And then his grand plan is to make one doll in one type of doll in Mexico to sell to who? What's your plan, bud?
He doesn't even
Someone
make the
have a
doll.
look
He
at
just
this guy.
finds the dolls,
No.
right?
Yeah, finds a load of dolls and starts flogging them.
Like, what is the plan? The plan is to... Oh, I hope they left loads of dolls behind.
Yeah, I hope I get there and there's loads of dusty, old, fusty, shitty Mexican dolls there for me to fucking sell. I mean, if the last guy couldn't sell them, I'm sure I can.
Yeah.
What? nonsense. The dress is so stupid. Like that fucking weird red velvet dress with like a bib. It just looks fucking terrible. And then why does it become a little old man with bangs? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Why has the word bangs entered the modern vernacular? Like, why is that what we say?
I think it's
now?
always been in the American vernacular, isn't
okay,
it? Like,
the
we say
modern
fringe.
British vernacular.
Oh, because we're systematically losing everything that makes us who we are to...
All right, Tommy Robinson. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, if Tommy Robinson would recognise the American invasion, then I'd be all over it. I'd 100% join.
Look,
whatever
right,
he does
America
now.
quite enjoyed the British invasion. That's why they made the monkeys. So...
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I just don't get it. I don't get this film. I don't know why it exists. I don't know why we're talking about it.
Well, we're talking about it because I picked it because it's a rip-off of Child's Play, and I hadn't seen it for a while, and I sort of thought it might be good, and I, was wrong. But at least this time I am contrite. I'm not. I think I think it's.
You're not
all right.
defending. You're not doing a waxwork and trying to defend it as a masterpiece.
I never said that Waxwork was a masterpiece.
In the waxwork horror genre, you did say it was a masterpiece.
I think Waxwork is great. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think any movie where we get to watch the Marquis de Sade and Dracula double team some fucking co-ed, like, what's not to love?
I'd be curious in another episode, possibly if we ever talk about dolls again, to maybe get your top 5 doll movies.
Okay.
But right now, all I want to do is not talk about this film anymore. So
right.
why don't you tell me
No.
what you think is the best bit of this film? What's the best moment of this film?
The best moment. So you don't want to talk about this film anymore, but you're going to ask me a question specifically about this film.
In order to expedite the end.
I think that the scene towards the beginning where the doll kills the maid is quite harrowing. Taken alone, I think it's quite a harrowing death scene. And obviously it's the first time we really see the doll move. I think anytime a doll in a movie slowly turns its head, fucking terrifying, frankly. Doesn't matter what the movie is. Doesn't matter whether the movie ever reaches that height again. But I think any time a doll slowly turns its head is terrifying, because I'm constantly worried that it was going to happen in real life, to the point where I had to get rid of all of my old Mexican dolls.
Even the ones in the red dresses?
Even the ones in the red dresses.
Even the ones you inherited when you bought a factory in Mexico?
Do you have a moment that you pick out of the movie that is a good moment that you enjoyed?
No. Not at all. Every moment that Denise Crosby is on screen is absolutely fine with me, because on a very, very basic level, it just reminds me of Star Trek, which I love. And I love her in Star Trek. I think her death is... Oh, spoiler. I think it's one of the biggest gambles Star Trek ever made. Her return is even better.
Yeah.
I think she's a fucking cool character in that show. And it makes me think a little bit of Pet Sematary. If I like squint my eyes and have 11 beers, I can pretend I'm watching Pet Sematary while I watch Dolly Dearest.
Do you... I mean, it looks like you're watching a 10th generation like VHS copy of Pet Sematary, because
it looks like shit.
It does
absolutely
look like shit. I watched well, I've got the DVD, and it was like a cleaned up version for the DVD. They've more recently released it on Blu-ray. I think Vinegar Syndrome have released it on Blu-ray, and God only knows what this looks like in 1080p. But like,
I'll be honest, I watched it on YouTube. I didn't care enough to buy it or anything. I think it looks so shit, and it's so badly directed that it. I mean, I would have thought a porn director would have done a better job of this, but even at times it makes Denise Crosby look uninteresting on screen, which is a feat of filmmaking beyond the likes of which I've ever seen. Like, she is an incredibly striking human being, and I think an underrated actor.
Yeah.
And this movie just fucks her over from front to back. I think one of the biggest crimes it commits is obviously like giving her such trash dialogue to deliver, but putting us in a position where we're bored of looking at Denise Crosby is just evil. Yeah. Just don't do that.
Well, well, on that note, Sam, why don't we take our final break and come back and finish off?
Okay, dude.
Come on, man. Does that thing even work? No. There's nothing out there. It's just dead air.
Okay, Sam. Are you an evil doll now, or are you just back?
Ooh, both. Why?
That's you,
Yeah,
it's an evil doll.
that little Cockney geezer doll. Why was Denise Crosby so typecast for a very brief period of time, and then why did she disappear entirely from movies?
I don't know.
Like she's the neurotic mum in a few horror movies, and then she's gone. What happened?
She was like business bitch in Miracle Mile.
Very true. A slight break from type, but she's this in too much, and then she's gone. It's such a sad.
Well, so
thing.
this happened concurrently with Star Trek, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it happened around the time she left Star Trek / was killed. I think this might be around that time. I haven't put the timelines together because I don't know when those episodes were actually made. I just know when they were aired.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? Mystery will never be solved.
Can I
Tell
ask
us
you
the
a
answer if you know the answer?
Star Trek question?
Go on.
Natasha Yar or Deanna Troi? As characters, I'm nothing, you know.
Nothing,
okay.
nothing
Deanna
Deanna
sexy.
Troi.
Yeah.
If it's nothing sexy, Deanna Troi.
What about Beverly Crusher if she's in the mix?
I don't know what you're asking me.
Who do you like better as a character?
Worf. That's tough.
Worf.
I don't think Tasha Yar's in it enough to really hang your hat on her as a character. She's great.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the stuff she does. Holy crap, does she do some cool shit? But I think Beverly Crusher is consistently great.
Yeah.
There's not enough character development really for me through TNG to love her as much as I really enjoy.
I wish that she would live up to her name and crush everybody in the show. Just like
Crush Picard's dick. Yeah.
Crush Picard's dick, smash Wesley into a fine paste. Like,
again, I'm on the wrong side of everything here because I actually really like Wesley Crusher. I know everyone hates him. I think he's fucking brilliant. I love him. He's one of my faves.
I think so. Here's my hot Star Trek take.
Go on then.
I hate Data. I am a Data hater.
Fuck you, Jamie. Fuck you to death in the holodeck. Let Data fuck you to death.
No.
Like you should have done Tasha Yar. What are you actually talking about?
His whole, I'm a robot, but I want to learn how to be a fuck off.
You're an idiot, aren't you? That's the dumbest thing you've ever said, and that is fucking going some. Holy fuck. Data's struggle to reconcile his artificial intelligence with his desire to be human is one of the most moving storylines in modern television history, and you've just said you don't like it.
I think it's lame. I think there's an episode where he tries to learn to be a stand-up comedian. Fuck off.
He tries to learn to do a lot of things. He tries to learn to be an artist. He tries to understand art, the human condition. He learns to be a lover. He learns to be a friend. Data learns to be human, despite the physical impossibility of doing so.
No, he doesn't. He learns to be annoying.
Wow. Let me guess, you're more of a season 1 Crichton guy, some fucking deep cut alternative.
No, my favorite character in Star Trek: The Next Generation is Whoopi Goldberg in the holodeck. It's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. It's fucking, John Delancey.
Listen, man, you fucked up so hard with. You're on record as saying that now. You know that, right?
Yeah. But I'm also on record as saying that Q is my favourite character, so fucking bite me. Q rips.
Oh, astonishing scenes over here at the Final Transmission podcast. Jamie has said something that officially makes me want to non-friend him in real life. Data forever. I just want to say.
Data never.
What the fuck would Star Trek be without Data? What would...
Good.
I mean, the entire franchise, first of all, but TNG.
Like, I think the parts of Data that they took and they put into 7 of 9, great.
I love 7 of 9. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I think it works much better. I mean, they also did that with Picard when he, borged out and then unborged himself.
Yeah.
But, like, I think Brett Spiner, I just hate his face. I hate him, and as a result, Data, and as a result, I hate all robots.
That's racist. I can't fathom a universe where somebody who likes Star Trek Next Generation doesn't like Data, let alone hates him.
Yeah.
This is news. I can't believe you buried this lead for our entire friendship. Never have I experienced such a fundamentally polarized view to my own.
And so, on that note, Sam, I'm going to give this movie 8 out of 10. No.
The fact that you would like this movie and watch it several times, but hate Data.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I hate Data. I wouldn't say that I like this movie. I say that this movie is fine. I think it has a few good moments, a fundamental nugget of premise that I find scary, which is that, dolls are creepy. Creepy dolls are creepy. And therefore, you put one on a screen and slowly turn its head. Creepy is creeping. Like
Low bar.
Like, yeah, that is a low bar. But, sometimes our bars are low, Sam. I've had enough of this slander of Dolly Dearest.
I've had enough of this slander of Data and Noonien Sung and the entire canon catalogue of everything that makes TNG great. Shocking.
Like I say, I'm a Q man myself. You don't like Q?
No, you're not supposed to like Q. Nobody likes Q.
What do you mean? He's by far the most interesting character. Every episode with Q in it is the best episode.
Or the absolute opposite of that is true.
I think that is as hot a take.
No. The Q episodes are among... Q is the worst thing about the Q episodes, is what I would say. And I would also say that everyone knows the worst ones are like when there's a fucking Shakespearean drama,
yeah,
or a fucking
Sherlock Holmes in the holodeck.
Sherlock Holmes on the holodeck. Yeah, all that stuff is the weakest, lowest common denominator stuff. When Q shows up, you're immediately like, oh, great, a Q episode. It's going to be 50-50 as to whether this is even entertaining. And when it is, Q is reliably the worst part of it. He's annoying.
At least we can both agree that Enterprise was shit.
I didn't mind Enterprise.
Oh, fuck off, Sam.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch all of Enterprise because I didn't love it. But I didn't hate it. What I watched, I didn't hate. Again, I like Scott Bakula, so... Your turn, Jamie, to rate this movie.
Okay, I think this movie is fine. Like I said, it does enough to keep me vaguely entertained, and that's enough for me. Dolls are creepy, electrocutions are scary. The films that it rips off, sometimes scene for scene or shot for shot, like the Omen stuff, and weirdly the Gremlins stuff, but it's dolls and not Gremlins. I mean, the Gremlins are dolls, but they're not meant to be dolls. That stuff, it works for me because they're ripping off stuff and like doing it fairly well, that I enjoy those moments. When it's ripping off Child's Play, it's probably the most boring because Child's Play does Child's Play better, and when it rips off The Omen and when it rips off Gremlins, it does it identically, and therefore that's fine for me.
Right.
That's somehow better because they're doing a better thing, less good. So my rating, Sam, I'm going to give it 45 out of 100 electrocution convulsions, and that's the end of that.
That's almost half marks.
It is, yeah, because it's fine.
Fucking hell, dude. Fucking hell. I bit my tongue through that. I can't believe you think this is a good rip-off movie.
I don't think it's a good... I think there are scenes that rip off good stuff, shot for shot, or mood for mood, and that stuff works for me because the stuff that they're ripping off is good, and the way that they're ripping it off isn't bad. I think it's bad when they're ripping off good stuff badly.
Yeah.
Like the whole Child's Play thrust of it, is kind of shit, apart from the few moments where I think the doll is kind of scary.
Right.
But like I say, the Omen stuff, while it's stupid and doesn't make any sense in the movie, like something about a possessed child screaming in agony because someone is doing a blessing, that's just cool. Like undeniably cool, even when it's not done super well. And
it's cool in theory, yeah.
And like Gremlins and like little gribbly creatures like being overrun by fucking tribbles, like also cool. So I think like those scenes just work for me, even though they're not really good.
Right.
I do find, and I'm going to say your favorite word here, but I do find like the weird made up Mayan cult, death cult kind of problematic, especially as you mentioned when you add in like the let's film it in Mexico so we can exploit a load of cheap labor stuff.
Yeah.
But much like you, I don't think it's the most egregious thing about this movie.
Says everything.
Yeah. Rip Torn isn't having fun, and that shows, but I kind of enjoy the fact that he's not having fun.
I'd rather he was having fun.
Yeah, well, I think
I'd just rather it was good. It sounds like you're making a lot of excuses for a bad film.
I'm not making excuses for it. I'm just sharing my experience, which is, kind of my fucking job here, Sam.
You have to speak your truth, Jamie.
I do.
So I'm told.
This movie is 4.5 out of 10, and data sucks. Your turn.
Oof. This movie is a pile of baby shit. I'm going to give it 1.5 nappies full of fucking brown baby lava out of 12. It's so pump. It's got nothing going for it. Rip-offs. If you're a rip-off movie, you're capped at half marks because you're already not trying hard enough. You're already ripping off something good. If you do it badly, you're capped at quarter marks. And if you do it in a way that is both uninspired and bland and boring and has no real jeopardy, threat, body count, gore, nothing, you absolutely fucked yourself in the mouth. If your whole goal is a cynical cash grab ripoff, not an homage, not not taking inspiration from or the myriad ways that we use existing pieces of art to inspire something new, you're capped. And if you're going to do it this badly and just waste the talent of Rip Torn and waste the on-screen presence, the overwhelming show-stealing talent of Denise Crosby, you are committing two of the biggest sins you can commit as a movie maker, in my opinion. You're boring, you're derivative, and you're wasteful. So get in the fucking bin, Dolly. You suck.
So less so it being a rip-off, but you just feel ripped off by having watched it on YouTube, presumably with your time and also the adverts that you had to sit through constantly.
I feel ripped and torn.
Yeah. Ripped torn, more like a ripped turd.
Yeah, it's just a shame to see good actors be bad in a bad film.
Yeah.
It just feels like a fucking waste.
Speaking of fucking wastes, we forgot to do this at the start of the part, but this podcast is brought to you by Red Scare Industries. They're a punk rock label, and they sell music and have tours and do stuff. So.
What did you just forget? Did you just forget the name of the record label?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, Red Scare, redscare.net. Check it out. Lots of tours coming up this summer, lots of festivals. I'm told up to 7 releases this calendar year on Red Scare, so plenty to sink your teeth into. Get over there and spend some quids.
One of those releases, I have it on good authority, is a Sam Russo record, right?
Correct. A full-length Sam Russo record this summer.
Yeah.
2025.
So go to Red Scare and make sure that you're still there when that comes out. All right, Sam.
Just wait.
Yeah, just wait. Just hang out. I feel like on your 5th or 6th watch, you're really going to get Dolly Dearest.
It's finally going to hit on the 5th or 6th. Yeah. You're right. I think half a dozen tries is probably about right. Talk to me tomorrow when I've watched it 6 more times.
I'm sorry, mate.
Not a bad title and quite a good cover.
Yeah. That's the Sam Russo seal of a bad movie.
Yeah, I mean, there are several covers, and I like the one with the building blocks, the kids' building blocks that says Dolly. And I quite like the sort of poltergeisty ripoff where she's just walking through some doors.
Yeah.
But that's all I've got to say about this movie. I will say it doesn't annoy me or upset me or revolt me in the way that Waxwork does, because Waxwork's just obnoxious and stupid and broken. This is at least like...
I think Waxwork is having fun. And this isn't having fun?
It's possibly having a type of fun, yeah. I mean, this is at least like innocuous in its failure.
Put that on the poster.
I've been quite scathing, and I think what I'm saying with conviction. I don't think I'm going to wake up and be like, oh, you're a bit hard on that well-meaning Dolly movie last night. I think
the idea of saying, I think what I'm saying with conviction. means that you don't necessarily have the convictions to.
It somewhat undermines the conviction, sure. But where I'm coming from is it's still fresh. The offense and the wound is still fresh.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe my feelings on this will be tempered by time. But
that's what I say. Like fifth or sixth watch, you're really gonna hone in on what makes it.
Gonna get in the swing of it. Yeah.
Okay, Sam, we've got 2 more rip-offs to go. Are you excited for 2 more capped at 5 movies?
Absolutely. The bar is so low. I'm hoping for some 5 out of 5s. 5 out of 10, sorry.
Well, next time we've got a pretty good one. So we'll see how it goes.
I can't wait.
But until then, engage with us on our social media at FT Horror Show across all the channels. And we'll see you next time for more rip-offs for June rip-off month. Data sucks. See you later.